what matters more, which we've kind of covered, but we should cover again. Good wins or terrible losses?
I think the committee has historically told us it's good wins a lot more than terrible. And this is the Notre Dame question. We just call this the Notre Dame question. Like, Notre Dame has a good win against Texas A&M and the worst loss against Northern Illinois. Can we agree that Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois is the worst loss that any playoff contender has?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this question just as a sub question, because I've always wondered this. Do you think losing to a lower level team by 1 is worse than getting your ass kicked by a good team?
Yes.
Like, what do you think? What do you think we learn more from? Like Notre Dame losing to NIU in a sleepy, terrible game that they probably wouldn't lose if they played on Saturday, or a team like, do we learn more about Notre Dame losing to NIU or Texas getting its doors blown off by Georgia? Like, which one do you think was more revelatory?
We learn a lot about both teams. I think we learn a lot about both teams that way. And it's one thing if like NIU is the best team in the MAC, that's different. But NIU is not the best team in the MAC. NIU is 4-4 right now. Like they followed up beating Notre Dame by losing to Buffalo. They lost to NC State. They've lost to Toledo, and they lost to Ball State. Now those are close games, but they're still 4-4.
Yeah.
And they're a MAC team.
Here's how I kind of view it, and I might just be wrong, but I like talking through this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, having covered the sport for, a combined 35 years, Andy, you know that there are teams that show up on Saturday and just aren't in it, right? They're not ready to play. They think they're going to beat the crap out of the team they're playing. They don't take it seriously. They're not prepping right. They sleepwalk through 4 quarters. They have turnovers. They just play a really bad game out of lack of focus and lose. But to me, while you should be penalized for it, and in the past era, losing that game probably does go a long way in disqualifying you from the field, I don't know that it's an indication that on your best day, you can't compete at a high level with a really good team. That said, in a Georgia-Clemson situation or a Georgia-Texas situation, when both teams have been taking it seriously all week, you're at home, you're geared up, going into it, it's going to be a litmus test for how good of a team you are, and you get your ass kicked. That, to me, is more telling that is susceptible to happening again when you play a good team than losing to a bad one that you just didn't care about.
Right.
And I don't know if that's
more of a simulation of an actual playoff game.
Right. You're getting closer to looking exactly at what you're going to have to face in an indoor dome in January in the Texas-Georgia game than you are in some sleepy Saturday in South Bend.
JLab is gearing up for college football with some of the top talent in the game, from Travis Hunter to Ohio State's Will Howard and Quinshon Judkins. These football stars embody JLab's core values of innovation, performance, and excellence. Just as JLab pushes the boundaries of audio tech, these athletes redefine their sport with skill and dedication. Whether you're traveling to watch your favorite team or streaming the game on your mobile device, JLab has you covered with every kind of headphone you could want. Find that blue box at retailers near you or visit jlab.com.
Then I'm not trying to be a Notre Dame apologist here. I think that they should be penalized for that. That was embarrassing and a terrible loss. But I don't know if that loss itself is enough for me to be like, Notre Dame can't compete at a high level. And I don't think the same thing for Texas too, but the Texas game was more, I would say, alarming to me because there's way less of an excuse for that than there is for, we just didn't take it seriously.
Well, the other thing you can consider more in a 12-team field is how a team improves over the year. And I think Notre Dame has certainly improved over the years.
And like, what would the spread if Notre Dame played Northern Illinois tomorrow be? Like Notre Dame minus 25 again? Like, but probably, if they play, but what if Texas played Georgia again? You think Texas would be favored this time? I don't.
They would not.
What changed?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like a good thought exercise because it's like,
it is
bad. And that's why bad losses don't disqualify you in the committee's mind, because I think that they're rational enough to know that bad Saturdays happen. And in this new system, those are forgiven very easily. Now, the problem with Notre Dame specifically is that they don't have any great wins as of right now to counteract that terrible loss. If you look at their schedule right now, the one win that they had that was supposed to be carrying the weight for them was Navy, and the Navy turned around and lost again on Saturday. Like that's not
They lost to
gonna be a
Rice, yeah,
thing.
and then A&M lost to South Carolina.
And
So
A&M lost. So like, and that win will probably carry them
yeah,
quite a bit, especially if A&M ends up beating Texas at the end of the year. But like my view of Notre Dame, and there's proof in the episodes of this show, was very much not changed after the NIU game. Like I came back the following week and said they're probably still going to make the playoff, and I have been like riding with Notre Dame since then.
I think you may be right, unless Lincoln Riley got it right with Jay and Maava, and all of a sudden USC's a wagon.
Which by the way, you laugh. That could happen.
That said, I'm not laughing. Like I'm serious.
My view of Texas, walking out of that Oklahoma game that you and I went to in Dallas, and what I think of Texas now has completely shifted.
Because of
I don't
one
know if that's
game.
Fair. Yeah. And it wasn't just one game. It was getting your ass kicked by an actually good team that may not actually be the juggernaut that we think they are. Like that, and we won't see scary.
And we won't see Texas against that again until they go to Kyle Field on the last day of the regular season. So we will find out more then.
Yes.